Hey, Jamaicans.com, how you doing? It's Suzette Speaks. I've missed so long. I'm so glad you're watching. We finally got on. We have none other than Mayoral candidate Miss Lavern Deer with us today. You know I bring you women who are doing big things, and she has decided to step out there, and she's running for mayor of the city of Miami Gardens. I want to tell you real quick where we're coming from because I'm about to go in. Yes, you guys know that we love to bring you new and interesting places as well. And we're in Junie's restaurant, historical restaurant in Miami Gardens. If you know the Jamaican movie Shatters, one of the scenes was shot here. And it's just, if you don't know Junie's, you don't know Miami, all right? So big up Junie's, big up everybody for having us here. But I really came here to introduce to some and present to others a really dynamic woman who's been working so hard in the community. She started her own nonprofit a few years ago, and beyond that, she has just been giving back in so many ways, such that she has decided, oh my gosh, to put herself out there in politics. And I was like, yo, when good people step out there, we're going to support them, and we're going to, talk to them about why and what they hope to do in their office. So she said yes. So we came to Junie. She suggested Junie, so you know she's of and about Miami Gardens. She was like, yo, let's go to Junie. I was like, all right. And she know the people them are like, Lavern, you're right. So she got peoples here. And we just really came to enjoy a conversation, guys. And you know we love when you like, comment, and share. Ask her any question you want. She's not afraid. And again, as a Jamaican American, I wanted to give her a highlight because, it shows the beauty of the immigrant story. And when we have gotten to a place where we can now give back, that's huge. So, Lavern Deer.
Hello, Suzette.
How are you?
I'm so good.
Excited.
Well, all this food in front of me, I'm great.
Okay, we're going to bless it real quick. Father God, thank you for the good Junie's food we're about to eat, oh Father. And let it just touch our taste buds in the right way. In Jesus' name, amen. So we can just give thanks for the food. You guys don't mind. We're going to tell you how good it is. Big up Junie's right here on 441 Miami Gardens, heart of Miami Gardens. Thank you so much for hooking us up. We got the callaloo. We got the ackee saltfish. Yes. We have the dumpling, yam, banana. Okay, Jamaicans, be jealous. Be jealous right now because we're going in. So, Lavern.
Yes, Suzette. I am blessed. I am great. I am wonderful.
Amen.
Thank you.
I felt that vibe. When I walked in, I was like, she was ready. I was like, okay, I'm getting ready. Lavern is ready.
Yes.
Tell me, for those who don't know Lavern Deer, what should they know? Who is Lavern Deer?
So, Lavern Deer is a Jamaican girl. Was born in Jamaica, but I left Jamaica when I was 9 years old.
Okay.
At a young age. Moved to Nassau, went to school there for a couple years, and then we moved here to Overtown.
I'm gonna share for you.
Yes, go right ahead.
So you moved, at what age did you move from Nassau to Overtown?
From Nassau, I moved because I stayed in Nassau about 2 years, so about 11.
Oh, wow.
Yeah,
wow.
We moved about 11, 12, I moved here.
Big up Bahamas 242.
Hey, yes, and our condolences and our heart goes out to everyone who were affected by the storm.
Yes. Big up all my sisters and brothers still struggling day to day. We remember you.
Yes.
Wow, so you lived there for about 2 years.
Yes, went to Donald Davis School for a little bit.
Okay.
And then I came here to Overtown, went to Booker T, Washington.
Booker T!
Yeah, big up Booker
T. In the building, one of Miami's historically black originally high schools. But yes, wonderful.
And from there, I went to Miami High in Little Havana, then we moved to North Miami Beach, where I graduated from North Miami Beach Senior High.
So you've been all over Miami.
Miami, yes.
If you know Miami, she's had a diverse experience in terms of where she went to high school and the people she was surrounded by.
And the funny thing is, a lot of people thought
for reaching.
Yes, go right ahead. Yes. A lot of people thought I lived in Broward. A lot of people thought I lived in Broward.
Up in Fort Lauderdale, big up Fort Lauderdale.
Yes. My history is in Miami-Dade, and once I moved from Overtown, I lived in North Miami Beach, and then graduated from North Miami Beach Senior High. Go Chargers!
And we gotta split the yam, guys. So I don't want to say yam. So let's have to split that. Yeah.
And once I graduated, shortly after, my mom became a first-time homeowner here in the city of Miami Gardens.
So that's where her first home. She bought her first home here. Oh, that's amazing. So wow. So you've seen a lot. Now I don't know if a lot of people know that there are a lot of Jamaicans in Bahamas. I just want to mention that.
Yes.
A lot of people make their way. I don't know about the hookup, but by way of Bahamas, then to the U.S., then to Atlanta, then to Miami, then to Fort Lauderdale. We're not going to talk about why, but for some reason,
that somehow is the path.
Yes,
that
a
a
little
lot of us
crossroads
have
in
taken.
Bahamas. And of course the culture is the same. That island culture, you could drop us in any island in the
The
Caribbean.
beautiful beaches.
Oh yeah. Island boy or island gal is still an island gal, no matter where you go. And that fusion of culture. So interesting.
Yeah.
So mommy bought a house in Miami Gardens. Wow. So you decided to start roots here. Like, tell me about your first job, or like where did you work first? Did you go to school? What was that like?
My first job was at McDonald's.
Yeah.
The McDonald's on 163rd Street.
Okay. Big up.
Yes,
Okay.
yes.
We got people coming in. What's up, Ross?
Hello,
How are you doing?
How are you? Hello. Partaking in this wonderful food.
Take two, man.
Yeah, man. We gotta do a team.
Don't be distracted tonight.
No, man. We're good.
I'm the only woman can distract me.
No.
I can't distract right now.
Yo, we in a real Jamaican restaurant. What's up? People gonna come in and talk to you while you're doing your video, but it's all love.
Yes,
So you came through.
So
where?
I worked in McDonald's, and if I can tell you, that position that I worked helped to mold me and helped me to see from then where I wanted my path in life to be. I started as a cashier, and I can share this story with you because it's very humbling. I started as a cashier, and one day we were short in the restaurant, and the manager came to me and says, "I need you to go clean the bathroom."
Wow.
So I went in, and I was a teenage girl. It was my first job, and I went in, and I'm there, and I'm cleaning the bathroom, and I'm thinking about it. And I'm saying, not anything wrong with janitorial services or janitorial work, not talking down on them, but as a young girl, I said to myself, is this something that I want to continue to do?
Right.
And during doing that, I start thinking about all the things that I could be doing and want to do. And I continue to work at McDonald's, saved my money. My mom, she trained us in how to saved my money. And from there, I just graduated from school and knew that I wanted to do something different.
Well, I love that because we don't get those lessons often now. I'm not talking bad about my younger generation, millennials, whatever you want to call them, Gen Z, Y, Z, whatever you want to call them. But a little bit of adversity can push you.
Yes.
A little bit of discomfort, a little bit of pain, a little bit of humility can push you. Mom and dad, listen, it's time out for some of this hand holding and coddling and protect. We want to protect our kids, but there's a time when you gotta feel that pain so that you know, wait, if I don't want this, what else should I be doing to line up my life? So that's good. So you learned quickly. You was like, oh, okay, no, this is not gonna be forever. I'm gonna keep moving. I'm trying to read your guys' comments online now. So where did you decide to move your talent? Look how good we got Prince guy. Hey guys.
Hello, everyone.
Big up everybody for watching. Again, Suzette Speaks here with Mayoral candidate Miss Lavern Deer in the city of Miami Gardens at Junie's Restaurant. Big up Junie's. Thank you so much. So you told us about your first job, the Mickey D's, and you're the second person I've interviewed that told me that their very first job was Mickey D's and how it inspired them. That's awesome. My first was Walgreens. But then from there, what did you decide? What did you want to do with your life?
So from there, I knew that I wanted, once I graduated, I knew I wanted to go to college. But, being an immigrant here, it was a struggle for my mom. I didn't have the regular, here's the money, we're going to pay for your tuition. I had to figure out, okay, I knew I wanted to go to college. I went to Miami-Dade Community College for a little bit, and then from there, I was still trying to find myself, and I went from different jobs, and then I decided, do I want to continue with Miami-Dade? But then I got pregnant as a young teenager, and of course that now pushed me into reality because now it's not just me that I have to focus on, I have to focus on my son. And shortly after having my son, I went back to school and I became a medical assistant.
Wonderful.
Yes, so that's where my career in healthcare began. Always, as a little girl in Jamaica, I knew I wanted to be a nurse. I didn't know how that was going to happen.
Nurse or teacher. That's not surprising. Jamaicans in nursing, if you get the inside joke. Okay, so you knew that's something that you wanted to pursue.
So I knew I wanted to be in the medical field. And once I went and I graduated as a medical assistant, I got my first job in Bal Harbor in a cardiologist's office. And if I can just share that with you, because that was another life-changing experience for me. When I met the doctor who interviewed me, I was the very first black person that he hired to work in his practice.
If you guys know Bal Harbor, it's a little bit of upscale Miami, if you will. No shopping there. Miami Beach, excuse me.
Yes.
So you were the new girl.
Yes.
Hold up.
Yes. Yeah.
Something new here. Okay.
And it was great because I was energetic, I was young. In the office, he actually would teach me self-defense. So I built a relationship with him, and I stayed there for 2 years. And when I decided to leave, he didn't talk to me for a week because he missed me. Yes, he was upset and missed me. And at the end of the 2 weeks, actually that last week, the patients, every day, patients cooked. They brought me lunch. They brought me gifts. I didn't realize how much my service at that time was so appreciated. And this was a cardiologist's office. So now when I worked with them, I started gaining a head of life. You know, these are the elderlies that I'm caring for. What did they go through? They start sharing their stories with me. So that was also another life-changing point.
That's wonderful. And I'm going to let you take a bite of
yes,
food.
Yes.
Don't just make me want to eat. And the people like, dang, Sue, you love food. Yes, I do. So I'm really proud of Lavern because it takes a lot of life lessons to build a woman, right? Everybody want to start off big. Everybody want to start at the top, right? But you got to put some years in, guys, and get some life experience before you can truly respect and understand and be even equipped for leadership. So it's good to know that your leadership span from the very, very, the least of these in our community, dealing with people who are seasoned Americans, seasoned adults who need tender touch, love, and care, and understanding. Now, you got to be really valuable to your job. If you try to leave and they cooking food for you and the patients and the doctors mad at you, that says a lot about service, right?
Yes.
So I think it's a good lesson to learn. If nobody don't miss you, you're not doing something right. But if you're leaving and the people are giving you going away gifts, that says a lot.
Yes.
It says a lot about you as a person.
Yes.
So that's wonderful. So you continued in the medical field?
Yes, I continued in the medical field. I continued working in geriatrics actually because I loved working with the elderly. As I said, in life it's about what you can learn. So I moved on. I continued in cardiology, and then from cardiology, the ironic thing is I went to pediatrics. So I went from working with the elders to children.
Wow.
So that was another life-changing position for me because I went in there as a medical assistant, X-ray tech, and I stayed in that company, oh my goodness, for probably almost about 17 years.
Wow.
Yeah, when I started.
So you like peds? You like
yes,
pediatrics?
I love working with children.
That's wonderful.
I love working with children. And as I stated, when I started as a regular medical assistant, I worked my way up and I went back to school to continue my education and worked myself up to become a clinical manager. When I started there, that company only had maybe about 3 or 4 offices. When I left, the company had 22 offices.
Wow.
Yeah, so I actually helped that company grow.
So you watched this company and became a part, a cornerstone, 17 years of the company, working your way up to management.
Yes,
wow.
yes.
So you saw a lot when it came to young people.
Yes.
And I know a few years ago, you stepped out there and you formed your own organization for young people. Tell me about that journey.
So when I made the decision to start this charity, I sat back and
First of all, Junie.
Yes.
Y'all do it. Junie. Y'all do it. Okay?
This color, right?
On point. Aki on saltfish. On point. Dumpling. On point. All right. Just had to drop a note. Thank you, Junie, for having us. All right. So your organization now, how do you get to that?
So to make the decision, I sat down and I looked at it and says, okay, I know that there's a group of people that need help. You have the children, and there's also another group, the elderly.
Right.
And analyzing the situation, I said, we adults are really set in our ways. So if I'm going to make an impact and make a change, I would rather work with children, because children, you can help share your life experience with them. Not that you're going to tell them what to do, but you can share your life experience with them and hopefully become a mentor to help them.
They're more pliable.
Exactly. So I decided to form the organization, actually first it was Jamaica Female Football Development, because it started to help the reggae girls, which, as you know, Jamaica
now are like you. Before
now,
there was support. Hello.
Yes.
Before you knew who the reggae girls. Everybody knew the reggae boys.
Yes.
But everybody didn't know the reggae girls, and there you were helping them.
Yes, I am the pioneer for that movement. Yes, before Stella Marley came on board, it was me who brought the situation back here to the diaspora to garner support. And thanks to Jamaicans.com, yes, you have been supporting me. When I brought this story to you, you interviewed me, and from there I've been gaining support, and I got the support that was needed through this platform. So thank you.
I
want to give you
Xavier, the whole
yes,
group.
Xavier, credit.
Thank you, Jamaicans.com, doing work by basically giving people exposure that need it and deserve it.
Yes.
So there you were, before the reggae girls were the reggae girls,
yes,
helping them, raise money for them. They had to travel, they had proper uniforms, coaching. It's a whole lot that goes into a national team, but everybody assumes that the government funds it. Not so much.
Not so much. It takes community partners like us to be able to help, which is what we did. So, when I came back, I sat down and I put a strategic plan together, a long term. I didn't want something that, okay, they just get some money now and that's it. We wanted, long-term sustainable outcomes for them. And that proved so last October when the girls became the first Caribbean nation to qualify for the FIFA Women's World Cup. So that I take a lot of pride in. Yes.
But they don't come overnight. They don't come without help.
Yes.
And there you were on the front lines, kind of pushing them until they made it to the big leagues.
Until they made it to the big leagues.
Yes. So that's wonderful. So I'm really proud of you. That was like, a lot of people don't know that about her, but she was definitely in full force helping them become what they are now. And it's now common to talk about the reggae boys and
the reggae girls. Yes.
Very cool. So I know also you have a lot of activities that you've been working with in terms of the community, and I want to get to your campaign because, like I said, it's not easy for a woman to run. Remember, hold up the flyer. It's not easy for a woman to run. Lavern Deer, right? Lavern Deer, City of Miami Gardens mayor candidate. So I love the flyer, and I saw all the endorsements. She got endorsed by Maria Sachs and Daphne Campbell, Commissioner Maxwell Chambers. I can keep going. So many people, and I'm like, that's not easy, from basically both Miami as well as Broward, all these local politicians. And I see you have three main issues on her flyer. She has youth, she has community, and she has crime. Youth, community, and crime. And if you want to find out more about her platform, we're going to talk a little bit about it now, but you can go to laverndeer.com, check her out, guys. Know who you're voting for, know what they stand for, know their experience, and know if they're really going to represent you well. So I want to talk a little bit about each of these, if you don't mind. When we talk about youth, I know you've done a lot already. You talked about through the Reggae Girls and your foundation that has expanded now. Originally, it was just called Football Association, meaning soccer for those Americans watching, football in British-speaking diaspora. But you broadened it. Are there other activities that you're now undertaking when it comes to youth, and how can we address? I think, especially as we come up to, different times of year, youth are very busy in school, and other times youth can be idle. And then you have no jobs or things of interest to kind of keep them occupied, hopefully, and learning.
Yep.
So let's talk about youth. What are your plans for Miami Gardens in terms of youth?
So when I started, as you mentioned, why my focus was on youth, after helping the Reggae Girls, I got involved in the whole human trafficking issues that were affected. As you know, human trafficking is a big problem, especially with what
South
we just
Florida.
See. Yes,
we're one of the top areas in the country for human trafficking.
Yes,
if you don't know what that means slavery.
Yes.
Sex slavery. Where young people are being, some of them tricked, some of them coerced, or some of them by force are being exposed to this kind of underground world of sexual exploitation,
labor, trafficking.
all
Yes.
kind of things that are going on that's affecting young people. So you got involved in that.
So I got involved in that, and through my years, I've been asked to run for public office in the past, and I felt that I wasn't ready spiritually to do that. But after last legislative session, when I went to Tallahassee and I visited just about all the senators and the House representatives, asking them for support of the bill. And believe it or not, a bill that was so important, which is to put human trafficking education in school, teaching our children about the danger signs of this, and to see that these, we had our elected officials, but they did not sign on to endorse the bill.
So imagine, okay, so this bill right now is in the Florida legislature. It has been placed on
It's
on the docket. Okay.
SB 154 in the Senate,
on the Senate side,
and HB 105 on the House
on
side.
the House side. So
On the
it
House
has been
side.
presented.
So it is in this legislative session.
Okay.
Last legislative session, we made it to the House floor,
Okay.
but it died in the Senate. So Senator
Perry Thurston
has filed it again.
Wonderful.
So yes, we're going back again to petition for the bill. But the thing that I think pushed me, as I stated before, I've asked to run for office and I didn't, but the thing that pushed me was while I was in Tallahassee and I'm petitioning, talking to these legislators and not getting that, yes, we understand the issue, yes,
And
we're
of
going to
course we
support
will
it.
help you.
Yeah, I didn't get that. So when the bill died, I was very disappointed, and I made a decision. When I was asked this time, one of the things that helped push me is, do I continue to stand on the sideline, or do I put myself in a position, or to where I can affect more change? And now this is where I spoke to the family,
Yes.
and then I spoke to some of my community members and shared with them, that I'm going to run, and they're like, "Oh, it's about time. What took you so long?"
Let me tell you. When you're ready for office, when other people been wanted you to run, excuse my language,
Yes.
who other people insist that you run.
Yes.
Right? A lot of people take up this thing called public office because they want to do it and they think they're ready. But nobody can vouch for them. Nobody has ever seen them do anything. So it's the right time.
Yes.
When there's other get in there. Why aren't you ready? Why aren't you doing it? Why aren't you doing it? So you had been asked for a while.
Yes.
Because of what she was doing in the community, the work that she had put in.
Yes.
Alone.
Yes.
And then finally you said yes.
Finally, I said yes,
Ooh,
and then
child.
I sat down, and as I'm writing my platform to say, okay, what changes can I impact? Then I look at how long I've been in Miami Gardens. Where do I want to see change? I moved into Miami Gardens in 1991, and like I said, my mom became a first-time homeowner here, and that made me so proud because she traveled from 3 countries.
Yeah.
She traveled from Jamaica, the Bahamas, and then here in South Florida, and then here we are in Miami Gardens. We landed here, and she's now a homeowner. So as I put my platform together, I started to look at where can I use my life story. Youth is one, because I've given so much of my time, and I feel as being in pediatrics for so many years, I understand the development of youth.
Absolutely.
And a lot of times, people say we'll look at a child that may be off course, going in the wrong direction,
And
so
give
the
up on
child
it
bad, or
quick.
the child is this or that. But what they don't understand is the brain doesn't reach full maturity until you're in your 30s,
Yeah.
about 30, 31.
Yeah.
So while we have our kids, we need to put programs in schools, not before they're even in schools, that can
Intervention.
stimulate their
Absolutely.
brain and their interest.
Absolutely.
So as for me, like I said, I knew I wanted to be a nurse. I've been side railed by situations,
Right.
but thank God for a praying mother. I was able
Thank
to
God for
find
grace.
and thank God for
The comeback
grace.
is better. Thank you, God. Yes,
Yes,
ma'am.
yes.
Don't count them out. No, I'm serious
Don't
about
count
that
our children
because
out,
it gets me very upset where certain kids from certain neighborhoods can get written off quite quickly.
Yes.
And then you have kids well into their 20s with drug offenses, petty crime, etc. And they get chances. They get more chances
Yes.
than some. And that's not fair.
Yes.
While we are still developing as human beings, there should be some allowances, as in not charging kids as adults. Let's start there.
Exactly.
Let's start with having
yes.
some kind of intervention like programs, remedial programs that can help them, like you're saying, with development of mind and thinking and character and morals. It still can be done.
Yes.
But some people have already thrown away the key on your son.
Yes.
Your daughter.
Your daughter.
Right?
Yes.
So it's great that we have advocates that see that no. It's not over yet.
Yes.
Let's go ahead and see what we can do for this young person. So that's wonderful.
Yeah.
So in Miami Gardens itself, what do you see as hopefully your vision for youth in Miami Gardens?
So for me, I would like to work more with the schools. Well, even let's start with prior to the schools, because you have the children from age 4.
Right.
You want to get them involved in programs. What programs, evidence-based programs, can we put in place? Increase evidence-based programs that we can fund for these children, so as they're growing, as I stated, we can stimulate their minds. Now, as they're going through school, you need to ensure that the home environment is safe and healthy for that child, right? So this is where now, working with parents and engaging the parents to become more active in the schools, increase the PTA support from the parents, and then you work with the school board to see how can you as a city support our children. I went to an event the other day, and one of the school board member was saying how discouraged that he was, because there is a large demographics of children in Miami Gardens that are on free and reduced lunch. Now, there's nothing wrong with that, but one of his concerns that he shared is, what does these children do when there is no school?
Exactly.
If they're being fed while they're in school, what about when they're out of school?
Absolutely.
So those are things that I want to look at to ensure that, while our kids are in school, they're not having to worry about the things that they shouldn't be worried about. They can just focus completely on learning.
Absolutely.
Exactly. So my goal is to sit down and look at, just like I did when I put the plan together for the Reggae Girls, is what programs, evidence-based programs, can we put in place to continue to stimulate the minds of these young children, so as they go through elementary school and they go through middle school and they go through high school, it becomes a continuous pattern for them.
I love it.
We know that a lot of times when children don't have enough to do, they find idle things to do.
Absolutely.
And then of course the environment and the community can actually draw them away from the structure that they have at home. So even if you have a structure at home, you're in a home with a mom and a dad, you can still be influenced by the outside environment.
Oh, I've seen that.
So,
children that are literally different from when they're in their house, and when they leave their house, it's like, oh, no, another person.
Exactly.
Yeah, so you gotta find them, kind of catch them where their vulnerabilities are.
Yes.
And I love the fact that you point out that there are partnerships that are still to be had.
Yes.
From parent to larger government entities, etc. It's kind of a partnership that we got to work together to see what we can do
as a community.
Absolutely.
Yes, I would like us to get back to that. It takes a village mentality.
Absolutely.
A lot of people think that government alone can solve the problem, but government alone cannot solve the problem. It takes government and the community.
Absolutely.
Government working with the community, and the community understanding that you run government. I was actually looking at one of the government org chart the other day, and when you look at the structure of the org chart, it has the community first, then it has the council members second, and then it has the sitting staff third. So if you think about that, with the community first, why aren't we engaging our community more in government, to participate in government? Because they're the ones who really govern us.
Listen, when they say government for and by the people,
Yes.
that's a real thing, guys.
Yes.
When we ignore the ballot, when we ignore coming out to support real people that actually have our same values, who want to implement things that we actually agree with,
Yes.
we are giving away our government.
Yes.
And trust me, baby, you paying taxes every month, sales tax, property tax,
Yes.
all kind of income tax. You pay it and somebody spends it for you. So if you don't have a voice in who you're placing there to hopefully meet your desired needs in terms of where they're putting money and how they're allocated, that's what it's really about.
That's what it's
Where
about.
the funds are allocated.
Yes.
Is it on your side of town? Is it at your schools? Is it for your programs? If it's not, you got to wake up and see who you're voting for.
Yes.
So definitely check out laverndeer.com. I love that, and I know you're gonna go into a little bit. You told me about youth. You told me about community.
Yes.
I know we want to talk
and
a
let's
little
not
bit.
forget our seniors now.
Yes, go ahead,
so
go ahead.
we have our seniors who have been in this community. This community was incorporated back in 2003.
What was the name before?
It wasn't a name.
It was Carroll City. I thought Carroll
well,
City.
it was managed by Dade County.
I call it Carroll City, guys. Big up Carroll City. All right, it wasn't. My bad.
They're different, just like Norland.
Yes.
So I could call it Norland.
You could call it. Oh, man.
Salt Lake.
So what would you call it? What would you call it? Yeah, drop a comment. My bad. I thought it was my bad. Because I had a roommate from college who told me she was from Carroll City.
I had zip code Opalaka.
Yeah, Opalaka might be part of it. Parts of Opalaka. So
yes.
it definitely wasn't just okay.
Yes.
That's correct. It was different parts brought together and incorporated into what is now Miami Gardens.
Miami Gardens.
Yeah.
And if you think about it, Miami Gardens, now let's look at the geographics of Miami Gardens. You think back to south,
Yes.
151st Street, right? And then you think north, you think of County
all the
Line
way
Road,
to the Broward
right?
County
So
line.
north and south, those are the north
Yep.
and south border. So now you have to think of the east, which is Northeast 2nd Avenue.
Exactly.
Right?
It goes
which is
pretty big.
a little bit south, east of 441.
So,
and then on the
hold on there, Lavern. Hold on there. A pure like and comment. About 30 comments just came through. Big up Michael Pitta. It really does take a community. We agree with you, Michael. Michelle McKenzie makes me feel good to be Jamaican. Yes, ma'am. Thank you, Michelle. We have so many others. I'm sorry if I'm not calling your name. Be sure to like, comment, and share. Big up Lavern Deer. If you don't know her, hopefully you will get to know her. She is running for mayor in the city of Miami Gardens. It's a huge position, a huge community. Like we're talking about a diverse community
Yes.
from north to south, east to west.
Yes.
And there's a lot of issues a mayor has to deal with. So I want to get back into some of the issues that you were saying about our elderly. You were
Yes.
talking about our elders and what you can do. I'm still eating the ackee here at Junie's Restaurant. Thank
it's
you.
good. It's really
Miss
good.
Sue, finish all the food. I'll never not touch our food still.
And
but
trust me, once this camera goes off, it's a
listen,
different story.
Judge me now. Judge me now. But I'm really enjoying the vibe at Junie's. Again, historical Jamaican-owned restaurant in Miami Gardens. Thank you so much for hooking us up today. Our anniversary. We were talking about our elderly and what your plans are for them.
So, because we are, as I stated, we were incorporated back in 2003, and this community was formed, the history of this community was to build the middle class income, to become homeowners, and
Absolutely.
it's a beautiful city. As you drive through and you see the streets, there's so many houses with ackee trees, mango trees, just my
And they're
my
big
yard
houses.
alone, yeah. Just my yard alone has East Indian mangoes, black mangoes,
Yes.
which I never seen black mangoes until I seen my mom planted a black mango tree, and and ackee trees.
One thing about island people, boy, y'all bring y'all trees though. Make a plant a little garden. Make a plant a little garden. The backyard.
And every healing bush you can think of.
It's beautiful though. It's beautiful.
Yes.
What it creates for the community.
It creates for home, and this is the environment that I was brought up in when my mom became a homeowner. Then several of her friends became homeowners here in the city. So we looked forward to, having, we go on 4th of July, we do the beach, we do the picnic, we do Christmas every Christmas, all of us come together and we have the same ackee and saltfish dumpling and banana from our very own tree. So that's that family.
Right.
But now our parents have grown older.
Exactly.
My mom now, she's in a situation where I am now her primary caregiver, which I love my mom to death.
Yeah.
I grew up telling people that y'all have to share one half of my heart because my mom has the other half for herself. So now I see that we have this changing
needs.
Yes,
Yeah.
exactly.
Yeah.
And as you think about it, I look back at my preparation in my professional career where I started in geriatrics,
Look at
as I
that.
stated earlier before, and what I have learned from the elders back then, it has now given me the patience to come back, give up
Full circle. Wow.
myself, to now come and care for my mom, which is the most humbling thing I could have ever done. So for me as a daughter who has now come back to help her, there's other elderlies which are in the community. There are health issues that I want us to talk about. We all know diabetes is a killer.
Sugar.
Yes, it's a killer. Alzheimer's, dementia, prostate cancer.
Yeah,
all
we get
these
Alzheimer's
things.
at higher levels.
At higher
People
levels,
of color.
exactly.
Runs in my family, all of that.
Yep.
And
High blood
we gotta
pressure.
talk about it.
And we have to address express it. And you know, as black people sometimes, and yes, I say black people, Miami Gardens is 76% black and about 31% Hispanic. So, you know, we're diverse, but our majority is black. So we have to look at the health issues that are affecting them. And not only just the health issues, how is their health care? You know, how are they being cared for, and the access to the health care? So these are some of the things, and you know, for the patients who suffer Alzheimer's or dementia, a lot of times these are elderlies that are by themselves, and we know that some of these diseases worsen.
Absolutely, by loneliness. You know, some people that they don't get a knock on their door the whole day. Nobody don't call them the whole day. They don't have family down here. They don't live close to nobody that they're related to or a friend. And they're literally, they have a word for this. It's called a silver tsunami. Don't hear specifically in Florida.
In Florida,
we have from here to Naples. Right? The largest number of people over 65 that are getting ready to or already have retired. So we got to look at this and we got to see what's available to them. Right? So if we're not offering the services that they need, something is wrong. Something is definitely wrong. And I'm glad you have an awareness of this.
Oh no.
So that you're like, I'm dealing with it in my home. Right? Because you have that middle-aged person who have the kids but also have the parents know. And the parents are dependent on you and the kids are dependent on you and you're the strong one. And it's stressful. So we need some support, some undergirding is what I was going to say, so that you are not by yourself in this. The community is with you. The community come back together, and this is why I focus so much on the youth and community. And then of course the crime, which is the piece that, you know, are concerns. But I believe that once we tackle programs and alternative career path for our children, you know, then we can really we can definitely put a dent in crime. Because a lot of times people think that, okay, we have the problem of crime, we're going straight at crime. No, you don't go straight at it. No. That's not how you do it. You look at your community. You look at why are we losing our children? What is the age demographic of our children that are getting involved? What are the type of crimes? And then you try to put programs and things in place that will stop that. And then eventually you will start seeing a reduction in crime. 9 times out of 10, crime is tied to economics. Shocking. If mom can't work, if children and youth don't get a chance at their first jobs, so you have youth unemployment as well, you're going to have crime. You have people trying to make it day to day who don't have normal means of making it. So we definitely want to provide different, opportunities, and also I want to say mindset, so that people can see a different way about going on to make a living and having an impact and an impactful life. So I know I have some paperwork here. Lavern came prepared with only my paperwork. And she said, read this. And I'm like, okay, Lavern, I want you to tell me about it. She talks about different programs that you want to talk about, and you talked about some of them already. I see you have here local job fairs. Just tell me a little bit more about, as a mayor, I know what you want to focus on now, but tell me about any program, anything that you see specifically. What would we say? First 100 days. What would you do? How would you handle it? And what do you hope to implement right away?
So I would say for myself and my career path, I currently work in government. And prior to working in government, I was the campaign manager for now Vice Mayor Dale Holness, Broward County Vice Mayor Dale Holness. Once he won, I went and I worked with him as his chief administrative aide. And I tell individuals all the time, you know, politicians, they come in office, their role is to be out in the community, kiss the babies and shake hands. The staff is the one in the background doing the real work.
Sorry, Dale. Big up Commissioner Dale, Vice Mayor Dale
Holness. You know, it's true though. It is. So for me, once I went in to work, I looked at 2 things that I can go in, take off running. And one of those 2 things was community development. So we were the first, he was the first commissioner to bring international cricket to Broward County. That was a $3.1 million economic impact, right? So that's job creations right there. And of course, heads and beds for hotels. And the second thing that I did was bring 12 mayors from Colombia, from different cities within Colombia, to Broward County. Now that was the cornerstone or the starting point for now the
International.
Yes, Florida International Trade. Yes. So,
Wow.
which is a big program that the county
Just
actually
happened.
adopted, and it just happened.
Yeah.
So those were my 2 projects that I took off, and that's where I gained my experience. I had to go in. I learned how to work with county administration. How to be able to get the funding, to be able to seek the funding, because it's not just you go in office and you say I need the money. You have to be able to present what the issue is, present the program, the plans, and then of course get the other your
Are you
other
gonna
colleagues
implement
to
it?
support
Hello?
it. Yes. So
You need votes.
Yeah.
You can have a good idea all you want. Find out what's happening in Congress right now. If you don't have the votes, it doesn't matter.
Yes.
You have to build, what is that, coalition building?
Yes.
So
yes,
you've seen that firsthand.
Yes.
And how to go, the politics behind the money.
Politics behind the money. Absolutely.
And how you gotta make friends.
Yes.
In order to get what you want passed.
Exactly.
This is the way we've chosen democracy, folks.
That's
this
the
is democracy in action.
Yes.
In case you didn't know.
Yes.
So that's wonderful.
So that's the experience I'm looking to take into Miami Gardens, and I'm super excited because, like I said, I was talking to someone the other day, and I said to them, when you're looking for the qualification of a candidate, the first thing you should look for is the heart they have for the people. That is the #1 qualification, because all the other things, you have the city manager, you have the staff, you have your colleagues, you have all of that, but when it comes down to making that final decision, do I give my seniors their senior center? Do I give my youth mud funding for these programs? It is going to come down with, you know what? There's a business opportunity here that may need that funding, or, the community, they really need this. Which one should I choose? It is going to come down to the heart of the people to make a decision versus the money, the people versus the money. And for me, I know that my life experience has taught me, and the results have shown that I have the heart of the people. And then my professional development now will allow me to go in, take off running, to sit and build a relationship with the staff that is already there.
You know what that call that? Principle.
Yes.
Do you have principle? So many people get into this politics game, bro, and it's about aggrandizement, self-enrichment, and self-promotion. So you really do have to ask yourself, what is the heart behind your candidate? Is that candidate there for the wrong reasons?
Yes.
And when the rubber meets the road, who are they going to vote for?
Yes.
What are they going to support and why? Are they going to be taken up by business interests and what they call special interests?
Special interest.
And people give them money and they have to help them out when the time comes. Hello?
Yes.
This is what happens in
Yes.
We're going to talk it. We're going to talk it.
Yeah.
Because no matter what, we have to recognize not everybody comes to this job with principle.
Absolutely.
Right? So we have to hold our electeds accountable, and we have to look for people that actually got some principle.
Yeah.
And actually want to come into the community for the right reasons. And sometimes we get so jaded that we think everybody want money, everybody is this for the wrong reasons. It's not to be, right? And I'm sure she got the personal contacts to attest to that. Where it's not her just saying it, they say let my work speak for me.
Yes.
You don't want to just look and see the cute face or the big money or the big tie and bow tie. It doesn't matter. You got the work.
Yeah.
Speaks for you.
Yeah.
So no matter what, you got to give somebody the benefit of the doubt and hopefully be able to see through what is fluff, what is just charisma, and who is actually there because they want to actually help the community. And I think Lavern Deer, from what I know of her and the work that she's done, she's there for the right reasons, guys. And we got to be very, very cognizant of that. Although, everybody has a story, everybody's going to come with their own, version of whatever, I won't say the truth, but what they want to promote. But anyway, we're going to get back to a couple more things, Lavern. I know you talk about veterans, I know you talk about elderly, the youth, trade professions. I have a big list here. Gun control, crime reduction.
And as we talk about gun control, right? So we know that that's a big topic right now, and I'm not here to take away anybody's gun from them, but I have to, and especially when the concerns of the community is about crime, you can't ignore that issue. But I met Susan Bullitt's kudos to you, Susan.
Yeah.
And
Bullets for life.
Bullets
Big up
for
yourself.
lives.
Bullets
Yes,
for life.
yes. And she actually came up with the idea of taking the bullets off the street and make jewelry out of them. And these are the jewelry right here.
I have one. I didn't wear it. I didn't wear it. I have one too.
And when you look at the concept, and when I spoke earlier, when I stated that, you can't just go directly at a problem, you have to find ways strategically to go around it.
Right.
And when you see something like this, and not only just the fact that she's doing this, but it's what it's doing to the parents.
Right.
I met a mom the other day who lost her son back in May, 17-year-old. Football star, had a bright future ahead of him, and she was sharing her story with me, and her son was murdered. And as a mother, it moves your heart. It literally moves your heart, because it doesn't matter how many children or how many kids you have, you lose one, you've lost. So, hearing from her how...
My heart wants to say, our boys deserve to get older.
Yes. Absolutely.
They can't be cut down at 16 and 17 and everybody goes on like business as usual. That's a problem.
Yes.
I was in I forget the name of the gym. Beautiful mural of this 17-year-old basketball player. But I know, since I saw a mural, he's not there anymore. And I'm like, we got kids that are adoring literally paintings of children that were shot too soon.
Yes.
Taken away from life,
Yes.
from their families too soon.
Yeah.
And we maybe as a culture going to accept it. That certain kids from certain zip codes, that's what they're going to have to face.
Yes.
But I believe America is better than that.
And Miami Gardens is
Miami
better than
Gardens
that.
is better.
Yes.
So we can't get to the point where we think, oh, another person got shot. Oh, we got another tragedy. Those are real people.
Yes.
We're real families.
Yes.
So I'm glad you're addressing that.
Yeah, no, and and then I got another opportunity to go with the mom to the court where she was now facing her child being incarcerated, and being there and hearing, seeing how the system is there and how it's designed to literally bring the kids in.
Listen, I'm a lawyer. I'm gonna tell you.
There you go.
Don't trust these. No, sorry, I'm a license. But I'm just saying, everybody in this law enforcement community is not your friend. Some are doing an excellent job and have a heart for people in terms of serving the public. Remember that part. But then you also have some bad apples. It's not everybody that takes their job and abuses it, quite frankly, and has young people who could be granted, I think, a little bit more leniency.
A little bit more, yes.
In jail for long periods of time.
Yeah.
Before they even start out in life. And we have to be very careful about leadership in that regard.
Yes,
so
most
you say
definitely.
you were with this
so I
mother.
was with the mother, and the judge was there and was talking and acknowledged the fact that I was there, and this was a 16-year-old. And acknowledge the fact that you have a support force, you have a community that is here behind you. So of course put the child in a program that we hope will help to rehabilitate this child. Right. But I've seen too much of this for our young black boys and our young black men. So of course when I talk about gun control, I want to focus right here in the city of Miami Gardens. What can we do as a community to come together to see why are we losing our children to this type of environment? What can we do, to take the guns off the streets? Like I said, I'm not here to take anyone, but guns from them. But if it's illegal or if it's creating harm or the loss of life, we have to have the conversation. We cannot just sit and pretend that it's not happening. So that's why that is one of my platforms that I am going to
Are you what's up? Here, website please for the bracelet. Hair, makeup. The mayor food is getting cold. Y'all worry about the Aki and Sophie. That's what you worried about. And her plate is still quite pretty and intact while mine has been demolished. But yeah, it's true. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. Thank you, Miss Pauline, for watching. Thank you, Leo Gillian on board.
Hi, Leo.
Hey, Leo, how are you? And thank you to all the wonderful people. Jamaicans.com, big up yourself. So I think it's great that you have a wide breadth of knowledge, that there are so many different things to tackle when it comes to running a city and being a mayor. I know you guys have had, a variety of, economic boons in terms of the stadium being there. Now we know Miami Gardens for other things. We know Miami Gardens for the Jazz Festival. We know Miami Gardens for like arts and culture. There's beautiful parks here. Betty T. Ferguson Park. All of these programs, people don't often on the news get to see all the gorgeous parts of Miami Gardens. The homes are so well built. I love the architecture of them.
Yes,
I have a friend girl.
Spacious yards.
Yes, they have
We have a lot of
That's old
yard
school
space.
Florida. They don't
Yes.
give you this much yard space
Yes.
anymore.
Yes.
The beauty of it is that there's such beauty in the people and in the surroundings that we don't want to lose that. When we talk about crime, I always get nervous because I'm like, hold up now. There's some good, hardworking, loving people in Miami Gardens, right? Who just want to live their regular life.
Yes.
Who are here just trying to better themselves. What they say, pursue life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. Like, that's what we want.
Yes.
Just like any American city. It is deserving of that.
Yes.
And hopefully we can work towards that because Miami Gardens is such a has such a rich heritage
and diverse.
And
We're very diverse.
Very
We're
diverse.
African Americans, Caribbeans, Hispanics.
Yeah.
I mean, that's what makes a community so special when you have diversity.
Yeah,
because
absolutely.
now you have other culture. My neighbor who just moved in recently, is Hispanic.
Yeah.
And when he found out I was running, he came over to me. What can I do to help? I mean, that's community. That's
Absolutely.
community in diversity. That's diversity in your community. And that's what Miami Gardens have. And I want to showcase that because, you know, when you watch the television and you see the negative news that is out there, a lot of time Miami Gardens make the news because of a
Why
crime
is that?
or something.
Y'all
and
love
let me
watching
tell
the
you.
Miami Gardens crime blotter when
Yes.
there's crime happening everywhere. But
Everywhere.
some cities get highlighted a little bit more
A
than
little
others.
bit, exactly.
I'm just going to leave it there.
Yeah. And for whatever that reasons is, you know, that's fine. But I want to change that perception. I want to be able to highlight all the positives, not just highlight the positive. I want to deal with those issues because you have to deal with issues. You can't ignore them. But while we're dealing with the issues, I also want to showcase all the positivity, the family, the camaraderie. And like I said, you know, what we had that I look forward to is, you know, the 4th of July that we used to come together and have barbecues, and, you know, the Christmas that we come together as a family and open gifts together. And, you know, those are the things that I want us to go back to ensure that the younger generation who is now coming up in the community can still have that family, have that family mindset to where we continue, because this is a beautiful city and we want to see it go further.
Absolutely. It just reminds me of the word neighbor and the word neighborhood. Anything that has to do with a community and their neighborhood has to do with being a neighbor. Are we still neighbors to one another? And I hope, and I think this woman probably can reawaken and engage that neighborliness that we miss, right? Where you used to be able to go over to your neighbor house and beg flow and sugar and go over, and if that child did something, you could tell your neighbor, or you could talk to your neighbor's kids or kids on the street and say, hey guys, what are you doing? Don't do
Can
that.
you imagine if we were to get back to that? You know,
I
you
mean, I
walk
know I
right down
sound
the
like a
street
fogey.
and you see the barbecue and come on over, come have a piece of chicken, or, you know,
where you're
come
not
on
afraid,
over.
where you outside at any time, any given place, and you just would. You know your community is safe. And I think we're growing towards that. We have some work to do.
Yes.
But we've been going in Miami Gardens, I said we, but Miami Gardens has been going in a very positive direction. And I hope you will have the opportunity to see it through. So once again, I want you guys to like, comment, and share. I've been talking to Lavern Deer, Lavern Deer, Deer. Go to laverndeer.com, guys. Go ahead and check her out. Her platform is quite detailed. We just touched on it here. She looked like this on our flyers, but it's good to tell people about her, and then make sure you yourself, you can come here or speak at various community events. I know you've been crisscrossing.
Yes.
Do you have
And
anything coming up that you want to tell people about?
well,
or
I have a human trafficking, and this is outside of the politics,
Right.
because I'm still an advocate, and I'm still advocating for the bill that is currently in the House and in the Senate. We have a symposium in the city of North Miami, at City Hall in the city of North Miami Beach. We did one in Miami Gardens this past January, and we're looking to do another one again in Miami Gardens. But as you know, the Super Bowl is coming to Miami Gardens. So my goal as an advocate is to ensure that I raise as much awareness, because these type of events harbor trafficking. And our parents and our community, and not just my community, but our surrounding
all of South
communities,
Florida.
yes, needs to be
I was too
engaged.
excited. I'm excited that the Super Bowl is coming. That's a huge deal. The economic impact alone. I don't know how you guys will make some money, but we're going to try to make some money because this is going to be a big opportunity for the city. Now, of course, the Super Bowl has been in Miami before, but I'm talking about Miami Gardens.
Yes.
Let's go.
Yes.
So it's going to be huge. It's going to bring a lot of different jobs. The Dolphins, I was just at a job fair at the Urban League of actually Broward County, and the Dolphins were just saying, just in wheelchair attendance, you can go to Super Bowl for free because they need all these people to deal with the big crowd.
Yes.
But I say that to say, on the high side, it's a very good thing. On the upside, I should say, it's a very good thing. But on the other side of it, you have this dark underbelly that people literally come in town and bring. I'm talking about against their will, women in town, just to be sexually exploited by all the crossroads of
or
people.
even recruiters right here in the local community to recruit pretty young girls, as they call them. You know, so these guys can have a nice time. You know, our parents needs to be aware, our community needs to be aware, and this is why we are doing, you know, Female Development World Organization is going to remain engaged with the neighboring cities to host awareness events so they can actually be aware of the
I'm glad you're getting ahead of it because really what happens is that we don't even know these things are happening. We don't even know. Sometimes we just think Super Bowl and I'm like, oh, Super Bowl. And right now it's just, you know, we have to think about all the sometimes crime that can come with such big events like this. So we got to be very careful.
So we have to be aware.
And vigilant and on alert that, you know, our young people can become victim. And I've seen some crazy stories. I'm thinking about the young lady named Cupcake in Alabama, the people that teeth people, kids for no reason, just want to exploit them, and it's so sad. So I'm glad you're getting ahead of it.
Yes, most definitely. And I'm also working with our Council General to help even with our borders here because we do have individuals that are trafficked from the Caribbean right here into South Florida outside of the Super Bowl. So these are things that, you know, outside of the Super Bowl, we're going to have to continue to remain, you know, diligent about. And then, of course, in January, the organization will be hosting its annual charity gala. And this time we're hosting it at the Stadium Hotel in Miami Gardens. Nice. They're super excited. They have the 9th floor all glassed around, overlooking the city. I always pass the hotel getting off of Turnpike. And I've never gone in there yet, so maybe that's going to be the first time I'm going in there. That's what's up. That's really good. And as we talk about hotels, you know, we talk about these events that comes to the stadium. That's one of the things that I want to work with the city manager and the city staff to ensure that we have more hotels. Absolutely. You know, so when these individuals, these events, we can have more heads in beds because we know that, you know, there's a lot of economic dollars in these heads in beds, and we want more of those dollars staying right here in Miami Gardens.
For real. I love it. So we have Michael giving me some. Michael, I said, yeah, make the money. He said, yes, they are heavily targeting our daughters in college. I hear stories from my daughter. Wow. And definitely, he said, what type of law do I practice? I do personal injury, darling. I do car accidents and hospital medical malpractice. If you want, I can DM you my card. I love it, Michael. So for final words, Lavern, what you want the people to know, again, LavernDeer.com. She is running for mayor of the city of Miami Gardens. Election is in 2020.
Yes.
Is there a primary?
Well, August 18th, it will be the election.
Okay.
And that's where I'm looking to win. So
August 18th,
let's focus on August 18th.
August 18th, okay.
I am asking now, this position, as you as the community, this position I look at as any job, right? That as a candidate, you go out, you try to get the job, and you do the best you can. There are opponents that are in the race that others may say, oh, you know what, that person, they've been in office for so long. But are you looking for a career politician, or you're looking for someone who cares about the people and have proven that they have a heart for the people? So if that's what you're looking for on November 18th and leading up to November 18th, I am asking you as a community to make the decision based on the best qualified candidate, not on a person's name or a person's history for how long they've been in office. Look, as I stated before, that number one factor that should look for a candidate, and that's the heart that they have for the people. That should be the primary factor that you look for. And once you see that, once you look for that in me, you will see that in me. And then you will also know that I have the experience. I have the experience through working with other political candidates, and I have the experience of working in government. I know how government works. I'm coming to the city of Miami Gardens, but my experience is on a county level where there are 9 cities. This is one city. So I do bring the experience where I can work with the people. So I'm asking the people of Miami Gardens to make your decision. Don't just make it based on someone's name or someone's lifetime career that they have been in office. And at the end of the day, once you make that decision on August 18, you will see that Lavern Deer will be your mayor of Miami Gardens. And before I go any further, I want to acknowledge my childhood friend who is also here with me, Beverly.
Big old Miss Beverly on the camera. Thank you, Beverly.
Fisher, who is here. You know, when you have childhood friend that has grown, and my stylist, so yes, she's done my hair for me. She's been doing my hair now. You know, when you have friends that you grew up with, and these friends stand by you regardless of all your path, they know all your secrets, good. You know, these are people that stays with you. That shows that I am a person of character, because I not only have new friends, I have old friends.
All one them. All is what goodies. Yes.
And then I also want to acknowledge Mr. and Mrs. Basil Cole, who they are longtime residents of Miami Gardens, and they're here.
They guys. They came to support her.
They came out to support me, and they have endorsed me to become the next mayor. And Mr. Cole, you know, he'll look and he says, "Hi, Chuck." Chuck just walked in with the Caribbean National Weekly paper. You know, they have looked to see that same qualification. When he made his decision as to which candidate he's going to support, he looked for the person with the heart of the community, and that was me. So if Mr. Cole chose me, I'm asking the rest of Miami Gardens to choose me as your candidate for the next mayor of Miami Gardens, of the beautiful city of Miami Gardens.
I love it. Guys, can you hear the passion? Can you hear the passion? Straight from the candidate's mouth. Listen, you gotta check her out, laverndeer.com. She has said so much about her past experience. I hope this has allowed you to get to know her more. Sometimes you see people name on a ballot and you don't know nothing about them. The purpose of these type of interviews is so that you can kind of get behind the scenes what the person is really like, and I hope you get a sense of who she is from it. I want to big up Junie's restaurant.
Yes, Junie is. Yes, Junie has been
about
feeding me since 1994. I've
look
been
at
eating
that.
at this restaurant.
Look at Junie. Because look how much people we see that we know. This is community.
Yes.
When we talk about community, when you stop at your local restaurant and you see all these familiar faces and the vibe is just so positive and you come eat good food, that's what life is. That's what life is about. These moments. So we really appreciate Junie's. We're going to link them into the comments. Again, please like, comment, and share. We want to big up all those who've been watching. Thank you for joining
Thank you,
us.
Jamaicans.com.
We love you. Until next Saturday.
Thank you,
Be
Suzette.
good. Thank you. My pleasure. Suzette Speaks signing off. We'll see you guys soon. Take care.